We're used to seeing high-fidelity games, the sort of crisp lines and dappled shadows that AAA money buys you. But only a select few worlds live in the memory once that cutting-edge tech is overtaken. What tends to survive the ravages of time is a unique, coherent art style, the kind that makes us believe in a place we're being transported to. When it comes to the 8 games on this list, we only need to close our eyes to be taken right back. Thanks to their incredible beauty, they'll live in our mind's eye forever. During the mid-noughties, developers started ditching health bars, ammo counters and objective arrows. Anything that might prevent you from connecting with the environment on screen. The most successful experiment was Mirror's Edge, a parkour game about sprinting between rooftops. You saw the world as protagonist Faith did, a realm of breathtaking skyscrapers robbed of colour by a dystopian government. When Faith looked out across this gleaming white city, she spotted the possibilities. The brightly coloured cranes and pipes that could act as runways and escape routes. Somehow, Mirror's Edge looks only more striking today, made sharper than ever on modern PCs. Today's big-budget games are so visually complex and busy that we find ourselves yearning for the PS2 era. Less is more, and nobody embraced the limitations of that console as well as Team Ico. With Shadow of the Colossus, the studio created a stark landscape of plunging cliffs, cracked earth and rolling mist. Under the glare of blazing sun, its ruins seemed to fade at the edges, as if they might go on forever. The PS4 remake mostly succeeded in keeping this mournful minimalism intact. When it came to the game's trademark boss battles, Shadow of the Colossus delivered on spectacle, sending you climbing across the backs of mountainous creatures to bring them down. Trust us, the views are magnificent from the foredge of a huge feathered ape. Don't knock it until you've tried it. So visually alluring is the world of Avatar that it once tricked everyone into thinking they wanted 3D cinema.
I hate those things. But okay.
But it wasn't rendered properly as a video game until 2023, when Ubisoft released Frontiers of Pandora. This open world goes beyond the floating islands and gets right down to the detail. From the ground, the woods are astonishingly dense with bracken, butterflies and bright blue flowers. And once you climb the huge mushrooms that cling to the trees, you can see the beauty goes on for miles. Of course, in Avatar, the environment is a part of its characters. Bioluminescent constellations sparkle in the faces of the Na'vi, who are basically living extensions of the land they seek to protect.
You fight like a Zaswell champion. Well, at least, that's what I think they fight like if I ever saw one.
When talking about Ori and the Blind Forest, it's natural to reach for the comparison points of Disney, Pixar and Studio Ghibli. That's because this is world-class animation on a level rarely seen in video games. Watch how Ori bounces on the shoulders of Naru in the opening, and the way Naru's charmingly rotund belly follows the motion of his feet. Moon Studios uses cinematic techniques like jump cuts to tell a visually pleasing story that extends to the forest itself. You feel the tragedy of its decay as the plants wither and are compelled to do whatever it takes to bring the place back to life. And if you'll be playing this beautiful game on PC, then make sure you're equipped with our G502X Plus gaming mouse that comes with Lightforce hybrid switches, LightSync RGB and more. Sometimes though, beauty isn't natural, it's constructed. The world Arcane created for Dishonored is almost completely urban, but extraordinary all the same. The team based the look of Dunwall on the oldest parts of Edinburgh and London.
I don't know which is worse. Just take your pick.
They imagined a multi-layered centuries-old city. Dunwall's grandest buildings are tall, narrow and formally structured, as if the architect had a stick up their bum. Yet they're connected by higgledy-piggledy streets and waterways, as if much of Dunwall wasn't planned ahead of time. It's an exquisite reflection of the divide between nobility and peasantry that becomes Dishonored's central theme.
Granny Rags, let us in. Ah, well, They'll go away again if they know what's good for them. But what a bother.
Night Dive had quite a job updating the look of System Shock. The original game is so old that it looks crude and garish to modern eyes.
I've no idea how you're gonna do all this, but good luck.
But the studio preserved the vivid colours and made a virtue of them. Each floor of the Citadel station has its own aesthetic, from the blood red of the reactor level to the emerald green of storage. The look is garnished by the soft yellow warmth of the anti-gravity lifts and the electric crackle of your spark beam pistol. To be honest, there's something about the combination that tickles us right on the back of the neck. It's not just nice looking, it's ASMR. And that's before you get to cyberspace, which basically has you floating through the inside of a golden motherboard. There was no shortage of pretty planets in Destiny 2's solar system back when it launched in 2017. But the pick of the bunch was Nessus. Yep, there is no denying it bears a passing resemblance to No Man's Sky. Round here, the grass is red and the mist carries a familiar turquoise tint. But Nessus is special in its own right. Just look at the angular masonry left behind by the Vex. It's as if a quarry was chopped up by an AI. Or if somebody decided to build their desktop PC out of stone.
Why would they leave these plates around if they get so angry when anyone steps on them?
Yet these sharp right angles interact with the gorgeous land around them. The huge roots and branches of the trees weave their way into the rocks and moss trails down the sides of those strange cubes. It looks like red wine, seeping into the couch. Not that we've ever ruined a couch that way. We'll blame the cat every time. While the sickly green and yellow tints of earlier Fallout games were memorable, it's been a pleasure to watch Bethesda open up the palette of the series.
Security operation in progress.
By relocating the action away from major American cities, the studio found a spot unspoiled by nuclear bombs. They leaned into the natural beauty of West Virginia, offering mountain views and thick forest. Every region is different, but our favourite is the hazy and the overgrown backdrop of the mire. Here, the wildlife is magnified and huge vines wrap around the crashed vertebrates. It's the opposite of a wasteland. Take a moment before you return to the world around you. It's best to let your eyes adjust gradually to the mundanity of everyday life. But if you want another dose of gorgeous game recommendations, don't hesitate to come back to Logitech G. If you subscribe and ring the bell, we'll let you know when we next come around with a new video.